It's time to get your Christmas finances in check. Hello, I'm Charlotte Jessup and welcome to the Looking After Your Pennies YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking about Christmas. Now it might feel like it's a bit early, or you might be watching this right up close to the date, but I want you to be ready financially for the big day. Now, this is a day that comes around every year. You should know it's coming. It's the same day every year. It's the 25th of December. So there is no real reason why you shouldn't be prepared for it. Lots of us feel like Christmas sneaks up on us every year, and that means that we are not ready in terms of our money, in terms of buying gifts or preparing food, and there's no reason it should be like that. I want you to start thinking about Christmas now so that it's not a shock. And actually, I'm going to give you some tips on what you can do, but I also want you to use these tips as preparation for next Christmas and every Christmas after this, and I will show you why at the end. So today I have 5 things that I want you to consider when thinking about your Christmas finances. Let's dive in with the first one. Number 1, I want you to look back at previous Christmases. Now, your Christmases might be fairly routine. You might do the same thing every year. Maybe you go to family, maybe you have it at your house, or maybe it varies year on year. This Christmas is likely to be a little bit different. We don't know what's going to happen. It could be that we're allowed out to see our families, or it could be that we are stuck in our homes in smaller family units. Now, if you're a sort of person like me that likes to go around to their mum and dad's house for Christmas and eat their food instead, you could be looking at a Christmas where actually you're going to have to spend a bit more on food and you're cooking your own turkey this year. In which case, your Christmas finances might look a little bit different this year. But it is still worth taking the time to reflect on what you have spent in previous years. I want you to think about what you spend on presents. Do you set a budget? Do you have a certain amount that you spend on people each year? Do you have any new family members? Maybe you've got more kids this year. Maybe you've got relatives that have kids. Maybe there are other people that you need to budget for this year that you haven't had to do in the past. Also look at things like food. What money have you spent on food? If you are the one that does Christmas every year, look at how much that costs and think about the expenses that are going to be incurred this year to pay for that. Also think about Christmas parties. Imagine if you're in a situation where actually you do get to go on a Christmas party this year. Do you need a new outfit? Do you need taxi money? Are you going to need drink money? How much is it going to cost to attend that event? And include that in your budget. Look back on what this costs and make a plan for what you might spend this year. It could turn out to be cheaper this year. It could turn out to be more expensive. But if we look back, we'll have a better idea of the figures so that we can be clear on the money we need for this year and for future years as well. We are doing this not just for now, but also for 2021, 2022 and into the future as well. Number 2, set yourself some goals. So maybe you're the sort of person that spends loads and loads, hundreds and thousands of pounds on gifts, but actually this year you want to cut those figures back for whatever reason. That is absolutely fine. It's okay to set goals around your spending. Perhaps you're the sort of person that goes overboard on food and you get in all the cheese and you get all the chutneys and all the pickles and you go all the trimmings. If that's you and you want to cut back, it's okay to set some goals. Look at those figures that you spent last year and decide what is a realistic figure that you could spend this year. Whatever you set this year doesn't have to be the final figure. Next year you could spend less, and the year after that you could spend even less again. Set a goal for this year though, and you put yourself in a good position to start saving some money on Christmas, and it gives you a better idea when you're out in the shops of what you want to spend, rather than freely spending and then dealing with the consequences of that spending later. Number 3 is start saving. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, because I've recorded it in September, right at the start of September, if you are watching it now, then you might be in a position where you can start putting some money aside still. If you're watching this closer to Christmas, then you might be in a position where it's a bit too late to save. But there's no reason why we can't start thinking about savings for next year and the year after that. Now, saving, if you start early, is the best thing to do. Put money aside for Christmas every month throughout the year puts you in a position where Christmas doesn't come as a shock. Even if you're leaving it a bit late and you're starting this in September, October, there is no reason why you can't still put some money in a pot so that you've got it ready when November and December roll around for buying all the gifts and buying all the food. If you have that money in that pot, it will take the burden off December and November's paycheck, and which is ideally what we want to do. We don't want to find ourselves in a position where we're falling on debt or taking money out of our emergency fund, because that's not what those things are for. Christmas is not a surprise. This is not an emergency. So we want to start saving. So get yourself in a position where you can start saving money, putting it aside, and take the burden of those paychecks at the end of the year. Number 4 is start buying things now. Now, some people joke and laugh at me because I start my Christmas shopping in September, sometimes even in August, just so that I can be in a position where I am not putting all that purchasing and flapping about in November and December trying to get gifts and food when everybody else is. I start buying early. This acts just like saving early in that it takes the pressure off those later months. It also frees you up from that stress and anxiety of having to hit the shops at the same time everyone else is. But it has a third benefit as well. Buying things now means that things could be at a lower price. What this means is that you could get the best deals on those gifts and the things that you want to purchase your nearest and dearest this time of year, rather than waiting for these pseudo sales that turn up in November and December, where actually the prices might be inflated because it is peak season and these shops are looking to make their money. And in this year in particular, some of these high street retailers are going to be looking to ramp up the prices to compensate for any losses that they have made during this year. So if you start buying now, you might be able to get a better deal than if you buy later. And spreading out those purchases really does take the pressure off. A little and often is going to go a long way when it comes to your finances, and it means that you can actually sit back and enjoy the festive period during November and December. Number 5 is have some discussions. So Christmas is a time for family and friends, but there's no reason why you can't have some conversations, particularly if money's tight and you're looking to cut back, around who you buy gifts for. So for example, I had a conversation with my sister a little while back, and we agreed that actually gift giving to each other at Christmas was something that we didn't really want to pay out for anymore. It wasn't personal, but actually, I've got kids now, and we decided that the money was better spent on them. So we decided to stop buying each other gifts, and we're happy with that. And actually, there's no resentment there because we both were happy with that decision. And what that means is there's one less gift to buy, and it's more money that we can spend on other people. Now, if you have those conversations, you might find that other family members and friends are willing to do that too. So start those conversations and just say, hey, would you mind if we spent a little bit less? Or even start something like a secret Santa with members of your family or your friends, where you're not all paying out for multiple gifts. Instead, you buy one more meaningful gift for one person. It takes the pressure off the shopping, and it takes the pressure off your finances. But maybe you need to be the one person in your family or in your friendship group that is bold enough to ask those questions and make those decisions for the group. You could find that lots of people are willing to do that too, but you just need to be the one that takes that action and puts that idea in their heads. And that is basically it for Christmas. You just need to get ready, look at things now, set up a bit of a budget, and set some intentions for around how much money you want to spend. What I want you to do though is take this practice, and rather than doing it in autumn, actually look at doing it in January. So after Christmas, start creating a sinking fund, a pot of money that you pay into each month with the intention of using that money to spend on Christmas. It's really easy if you do this in January, because you'll be able to look back at what you've spent over the next couple of months and see exactly how much Christmas costs. And then what you do is you take that amount, you divide it by 12, and you pop that money into a pot every month. That means when Christmas rolls around, you have that money ready and waiting to spend. It's not a huge surprise, it's not a huge burden on your finances, and you will be ready to go. And the longer that you spend preparing that and putting that money aside, the more money you're going to have and the less stress you're going to have at the end of the year. So get ready for that. I'll check in with you in January and make sure that you are doing this. I'll pop another video out to keep you accountable. So let's get ready for Christmas. Let's make it as relaxing and financially enjoyable as we possibly can. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure that you hit subscribe, you like and you comment, and I will see you in the next video.